Let's look at Chapter 2, Lab 2-1, Stop and Analyze. It's currently on page 36 in your textbook. So this will help you get used to how to do input-output charts. The one I have you do looks slightly different, and that's okay, but I'm going to go with this, what I have on the screen. It'll be easier for me to talk through this as opposed to what I actually have you fill out. Okay, so you have an IPO chart, input, process, output. That's what that's called. Remember, I mentioned in the overall video for Chapter 2 that we want to start concentrating on what are inputted by the user, what is the output displayed or printed, and then processing is how we get from input to output. And sometimes we have processing items, meaning we need a variable that's not inputted by the user or is not displayed to the client or to the screen. Okay, Lab 2-1 has an IPO chart. You see it on the screen, a little modified. And question 1 is complete the desk check using 2 sets of input values that they give to you. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, how to do the desk checking, because a lot of people get confused by the desk checking. Sometimes in your problem that you're going to get for assignments, it will have numbers in that are only to be used for desk checking, and it'll say desk checking numbers. Numbers that are used for desk checking do not go under input or output. They'll be used as input or output, but they're not part of the algorithm. Actually, they're not part of the IPO chart either. So, excuse me. So the first thing is we have 100.5 and 8 is the quantity sold. So I'm just going to slide over here and put 100. The item cost 5. And the selling price was, I'm supposed to be item, not time. The item selling price is $8. Okay, so when you're doing a desk check, basically you're giving values to these items, and you're seeing if your program will calculate the profit correctly in this case. So I'm going to slide this over. Now assume we've entered all the numbers. Okay, so what's the price and cost difference? That's what you calculate here. And that's going to be, the price and cost difference would be subtracting the item cost 5 from the selling price. So basically for us, you're going to get 8 minus 3, and that's going to be, 8 minus 5, it gives you $3. So then you calculate the profit by multiplying 3 times 100. And you do that by following these instructions over here. So those are the first items that they're asking you to check. Then they go back and say use 650. Yep. I'm sorry. 250. And the selling price is $3.75. And following this chain of events again, we've entered those 3 things. Now we're going to calculate the price and cost difference, and we're going to say $3.75 minus the $2.50, which gives you $1.25 difference. Let me put my decimal back up in here. It's not 375, it should be. There you go. And then what will our profit be? Calculate profit by multiplying the difference, which is now $1.25, times the number of items sold, which is 650, and we get a whopping $812.50. Okay, so that's how you work through or desk check an algorithm. Now, obviously, besides just giving the numbers, it would be nice in these had they given you what the answer should be so that you would know whether or not it was calculating correctly. Okay, I'm telling you what the answers are, and then so you could calculate this correctly. In the future, as we go along, if we get to a problem and you don't have the answers, let me know. I'll give you the answer to the calculations for desk checking. Okay. Then it says, what will the algorithm display for the first set of input numbers? So we got this profit because we're only displaying the profit. And then the second. So we've answered question 1. So the first display gave us 300. The second gave us $812.50 according to this algorithm. How could you modify this chart to display the difference between the item cost and the item selling price? Okay, so they're asking you to display what they're calling price and cost difference, right? So when that's right here, that's this processing item. So if you want to display that, we're simply going to insert a little text box, and in it we're going to put display price and cost difference. Okay, so what we could do in this little algorithm is just insert that right here. Okay, so so the users entered the quantity sold, item cost, item selling price. We're going to calculate the price and cost difference by subtracting the item cost from the selling price. Then we're going to go ahead and calculate the profit by multiplying the price and cost difference by the quantity sold. Then we're going to display the price and cost difference and display the profit. Now, a lot of people would come through here and they want to do the display right after it was calculated. In other words, they want to come right here and do it. The best thing is, as much as possible, keep all your displays together at the end. I'm not saying the other way won't work. It will, but for programming, sort of a standard, it's not really a standard, it's just a better way to program, is as much as possible, keep what you're putting out to the screen in the same area of the program if possible. Okay, so that answers number 2 question. And number 3, how would you modify this chart and the desk check table to eliminate the use of a processing item? And this is a really good point I want to point out. So what they're saying is, we don't want this right here, okay? We don't need price and cost difference, okay? We really don't, and I'm going to show you why. Because technically, you can do a one calculate statement that takes care of everything. So you can calculate the profit by multiplying, and instead of having this, you would have multiplying you're going to calculate the profit by, let me write it a different way. I'm going to write it a way that I think is more understandable. So what you could do is say profit equals quantity sold times, that's what the asterisk is for, item, and you got to use your parenthesis, and we're going to get into more of this in the next chapter. Item selling price minus item cost. Okay? Now, then this would go away because you would not be having that. Okay? So now what you have is a neat little program where they enter quantity sold, item cost, and item selling price. And you're not going to need that box because you're going to just do this. Do this one calculate statement to determine the profit. Profit is the quantity sold times the item selling price minus the item cost. Yes, it's math. Anytime you have a math question, feel free to ask it. I'm not asking you to be an expert at math. Ask me what the calculation should look like. If you're unsure, give it a try and I'll tell you if you're wrong, okay? Don't be afraid to try in this class. That's how you're going to learn the most, is trying and making mistakes and correcting them. That's the best way to learn the program. All right, so that would be the answer to number 3 in that one problem. Again, over here, I've done the desk checking down through here, as you can see. Got rid of the processing item not needed. The process is right here. I've moved it around. It's very concise. So keep in mind in this class, a lot of your algorithms are going to have enter, some type of calculation, and display. And that's all you'll have.